So I want to get my thoughts out there about this whole Jussie Smollett thing. For those living under a rock, Jussie is a gay black actor on the show Empire. I've never seen it, by the way. He spun a yarn about being attacked in the dead of night by a duo of MAGA hat-wearing white guys who called him racist and homophobic epithets. When his story broke, numerous celebrities and politicians, media outlets, and social media activists, you can't see my air quotes there, but I'm making air quotes for activists. They all believed his story, uncritically, unskeptically, and unwaveringly. Those who were skeptical of the yarn were labeled conspiracy theorists, And imagine that, being labeled a conspiracy theorist for simply treating a story skeptically. It's pretty crazy when skepticism is conflated with conspiracy. And now, with zero shock on my part, the story that Jussie told is unraveling. It's become nearly a certainty at this point that his supposed hate crime was a complete hoax perpetrated by Jussie himself. And the right-wingers, who never believed it to begin with, are now crowing about their vindication, as they probably should. I do consider myself a progressive. Here's my credentials. I support universal health care. I support raising the minimum wage. I support free college tuition. Pretty much the whole Bernie Sanders agenda. I'm even strongly considering supporting universal basic income, which is a concept I only recently became familiar with. However, this story is a perfect example of some tendencies on the left that make me just hang my head in shame when the words "I'm a progressive" leave my lips. First of all, let's talk about gullibility. I cannot believe how gullible the left was to buy this fucking story. It's proof to me that Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that everyone who hates Trump has Trump derangement syndrome. I hate Trump myself. It's perfectly healthy to hate that fat orange retard. But too many people on the left truly believe that the MAGA hat is like the modern-day equivalent of the Klansman's hood, They think that anyone who wears a MAGA hat is just capable of anything, any despicable behavior you can imagine. If you ascribe it to someone wearing a MAGA hat, all of a sudden you're credible in the eyes of the Trump deranged. And so any story that makes Trump supporters look bad is just accepted at face value, no matter how much the story just stinks of bullshit. And this one stunk bad. The notion of two MAGA hat-wearing racist homophobes just jumping a TV actor on the street in the middle of Chicago with cameras everywhere in a predominantly black and predominantly gay neighborhood while they're shouting racist things and they're shouting homophobic things and they're saying this is MAGA country and all this ridiculous nonsense. In the middle of fucking Chicago in a gay black neighborhood, that's happening. There's a reason why Jussie's own neighbors said, hey, we don't believe him. We don't believe him because it's bullshit. We would have known if something like that was happening here. But, the new orthodoxy of believe the victims, it's a mantra. Believe the victims, believe the victims, believe the victims, believe the victims. They think if they say it enough, it'll gain some credibility, You're not allowed to question it. You can't question a gay man. You can't question a black man. You certainly can't question a gay black man. And you absolutely, positively, cannot question anyone claiming, no matter how dubiously, to be a victim. If someone says I'm a victim, if they have some kind of victim story, especially if they can just throw some minority sauce on there, then you're just not allowed to say shit. You're not allowed to question it. You're not allowed to, you're definitely not allowed to doubt it on any level. But, any question, no matter how sensible, will be treated as doubt, and you will be viewed as a racist and a sexist and a whateverist. If a woman says, I was raped in broad daylight in the middle of Central Park, you have to just, nod your head and be like, yes, that's a credible story, and I have no further questions, and I just believe you explicitly, implicitly, everything implicitly. It's just gospel truth. If you think that it's anything other than gospel truth, then obviously you're a fucking monster. It's just because too many people on the left, they treat victimhood as a social currency. The idea that the more of a victim you can claim to be, the more seriously you should be taken, the more deference you should be afforded, the more special status you should accrue. But, Jussie Smollett, this fucker here, it turns out he's not a victim. He's not. He's a victimizer. He victimized the gullible nitwits on the left who he knew he could exploit for more name recognition and more status and more, oh, you poor thing, you poor thing. And he re-victimized every victim of a real hate crime who's now going to have a harder time being taken seriously due to his actions. And he victimized everyone who supports Donald Trump by feeding his fiction to a media machine that's hungry for any anti-Trump narrative they can get their hands on, no matter how devoid of merit. It's an unfortunate reality that people are willing to believe anything if it goes along with their worldview. And I'm not just talking about the left at this point. I'm talking about a lot of people across the spectrum, but because this is about a left-wing guy lying about Trump supporters, we're going to stick to that. But just know, I understand it's a big problem across the board. Someone hears something, a nasty rumor about their best friend or someone they like and they think it's false. Someone hears a nasty rumor about their worst enemy or someone they hate and they think it's true. And it could be the same fucking rumor or accusation or whatever. If you go up to a left-winger and say, this MAGA hat person did this, they're going to believe it, no matter how much it lacks credibility. If you go up to a Trump supporter and say, oh, Antifa did this, they're going to believe it, no matter how much it lacks credibility. But let's not do the whataboutism here. Let's just focus on what's actually happened in this case. So if you believe Trump supporters are all racist, you're going to believe any story that supports that narrative. And we saw it with the unjust firing of Roseanne Barr for a remark that I don't think you could really credibly call racist. We saw it with the Covington Catholic kids. And I hate Catholics, and I hate Covington, and I hate kids. But still, they were treated unfairly. And we're seeing it again with Jussie Smollett's hate crime hoax here. Now, I don't go in too much for this culture war bullshit, but, if there is a culture war, this is how you lose it, okay? This is how you lose it, because make no mistake, the left looks bad right now because of this. The politicians who jumped on poor Jussie's bandwagon, they look real bad today. Nancy Pelosi knows it. She just deleted a tweet. She had this big tweet, this big virtue signaling tweet. Poor Jussie. She deleted the fucking thing. She's like, oops, never mind. Never said that. That didn't happen. The media outlets who reported this as though it were gospel truth, even when they knew there was reason to doubt the story, but they just ran with it because they didn't want to rock the boat. And they already have this enormous credibility problem with the American public if polling is to be trusted, and I think that it should be in this case, or most cases, really. Their credibility took another huge fucking hit today. The left in general, they just seem like reactionary idiots who were duped by a story that they would have seen through in a second if it didn't scratch their anti-Trump itch. I really hope that the next time someone comes out with this sob story about what a precious widow victim they are, people ask questions and demand satisfactory answers. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with questioning something. That's called not being an idiot. And by the way, speaking of idiots, just so no idiots out there intentionally probably misconstrue what I'm actually saying, I'm not saying that Jussie should have been instantly disbelieved either. His story should have been treated seriously and investigated. But pending the results of that investigation, judgment should have been reserved. And yes, I know the investigation is still ongoing, so I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite right now. But with the facts that are currently out, I'm willing to make a determination. And my determination is that Jussie is probably full of shit. If he's not, I'll eat my own ass. No, I'd enjoy that too much. If he's not, I'll eat my hat. You can't see it, but it's one of the knit ones. Actually, I don't want to eat this one. I'll eat one of my lesser hats. I'm not actually going to do it, but whatever. And I won't have to because he's full of shit. He's full of shit. Probably. Asterisk, probably full of shit. The left, listen. Guys, listen, okay? I don't want to be too hard on the left because, look, like I said, I'm on the left. And look, I think the left is at its best when it fights for real victims. A real victim is not some rich, out-of-touch celebrity who's so desperate to feel special that he pays his friends to beat him up so that he can fake a hate crime against himself. That's not a victim. That's a piece of shit. A real victim is someone who works 40 hours a week but still can't make ends meet. A real victim is someone who dies of a treatable illness because they're too scared of crushing medical debt to go see a doctor. A real victim is someone whose job got shipped overseas or replaced by a robot. A real victim is someone who's rotting away in a jail cell for a non-violent so-called crime, like, you possessed a little crack rock or something. You're not a fucking. A real victim is someone whose fucking tap water contains more lead than a fucking pencil. And yeah, I know. I guess they use graphite now. Whatever. The wordplay doesn't work with that. A real victim is like a soldier who dies in a pointless war for fucking oil or for a defense contractor somewhere to get rich, siphoning more money out of Washington so that he can buy more politicians, so that they can authorize more wars, so he can make more money. And it's just this big fucking cycle. And the only, hey, the politicians make money, the defense contractors make money, and the soldier fucking dies face down in the fucking ditch, choking on his own fucking blood in some Middle East shithole. Those are the victims. These are the victims that are ignored by almost every politician, almost every media outlet. They're too busy covering, Trump's latest tweet, or Trump's latest gaffe, or, wasting precious airtime on some egomaniacal victimizer like this piece of fucking pig shit on the screen right now. So, to summarize, fuck Jussie Smollett, fuck his lies, fuck the name Jussie, because that's not a real name, fuck his enablers, fuck his pseudo-victim status. And if you bought his bullshit for a second, fuck you too. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Peace the fuck out. If you enjoy my shit, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the stupid goddamn alert bell that I hate so much. Consider supporting me on Patreon. Consider supporting me on PayPal. Consider doing all kinds. I don't know. Consider fucking tickling my ass with a feather. I don't know. Oh God. Anyway, fuck Jussie. Fuck Jussie Smollett. That's if you walk away with anything, walk away with that. Fuck Jussie Smollett and all the other stuff I said. Subscribe, whatever. Bullshit. I don't know why I'm still talking. The video's over. Go away.